Hello, it is time to play Vampire the Masquerade Parliament of Knives. This is an interactive fiction game made in, I think the engine is just called Choice of Games. And this is part of me working through my backlog this year. Every other week, I will stream a game in my server, or if no one is available to join in, I'll just record it. So I'm still making myself go through and playing my backlog. But what it is I grabbed random games from my list of not yet played games. I had my server vote on which games they wanted me to play, and I put all those games on a wheel. I spun it, and this is the first game that came up. I am not guaranteeing that I'm going to play through like the entirety of all the games. That would be a very hard way to get through the backlog. As bad as it is that I'm currently only doing this every other week, I might do it a bit more. But I'll play. My minimum is going to be 30 minutes, unless it's something that I'm going to be way too scared of, like Fear is on the list. I have some scary games I haven't played that I just had from bundles. So, so let's get started. I do have my Discord open, so if anyone can come in later, they might. So, so that might happen. But let's get started with Vampire the Masquerade Parliament of Knives by Jeffrey Dean. Chapter 1, Incursion. I extended a hand to the rabble in the spirit of friendship and tolerance. Such forward thinking always foments dissent, as I might have learned by studying the mistakes of my mentor in the glory days of London before Mithra's return. Modern mortals have a saying for this: no good deed goes unpunished. From the journals of Arundel, Prince of Ottawa. I actually don't know much of anything about Vampire the Masquerade. I haven't played the TTRPG or the main game. I just have all of these. So I didn't look up to see if I needed to play the other stuff. I think they can all be like understood alone. Hopefully that is the case. There is blood beneath your fingernails, remnants of a nightly ritual that has somehow become routine. Your hunger stirs deep within, lured by the scent, but you cast it from your mind. There are more important matters afoot. The full moon casts its ruddy blessing on the blood hunt, spiriting your band of assassins through long cast shadows among the irregular peaks and valleys of an unattended construction site. You lance through the night, a deadly arrow seeking the heart of a vampire you'd heard much of but never knew. Robert Ward, defected from the high society of Ottawa's Camarilla elite to endure the filth among the clanless and the anarchs. Long years of leisure befitting your rank have left your survival skills blunted, but the thrill of the hunt has brought old instincts once thought forgotten back to the surface, seething with untapped potential. You know this to be true. You can feel it in your bones. But one siren song calls above all others, driving you to distraction. There is blood beneath your fingernails. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and look at the show stats and see if I see anything. Welcome to the codex screen, personal stats. I guess percentage bars. Okay. Reputation. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. Uh, Storyteller mode, bookmark mode, or attribute display mode. Let's return to the game. Your feeding before the hunt had been a hurried one, and you'd left your victim dazed as you dabbed your mouth. Sheriff Key impatiently ushering you to join his motley band of kindred and mortal mercenaries for the hunt. The smell of blood on your fingertips conjures images of the mortals shivering while you slaked your thirst, their wide doe-eye glassy their wide doe eyes glassy and empty of concern. In the decades since your embrace, you've distanced yourself from the horrors of your nightly existence, not the least of which was divorcing yourself entirely from the indelicate art of finding your own victims. And our choices, I feed from the veritable menagerie of mortal vessels employed by a powerful kindred, Alicia Gray of the clan of Turator. My manservant Gerard is responsible for catching and sedating my prey. My proximity to Prince Arundel and his seneschal, my sire, Eden Corliss, affords me only the finest meals, dining on drink and drug-addled mortal elite. Um, Based on the guy we're playing so far, I just feel like this would be funny. Like, he doesn't even, like, go out of his way to, like, do his own dirty work. Maybe I don't have the vibe for this guy yet, but this seems like my manservant Gerard is responsible for catching and sedating my prey. I think that's the best for this. In the years since you acquired him, Gerard has been an excellent and loyal retainer in all respects. He takes his duties seriously and has rarely disappointed you or left you hungry. Over the years, you managed to convince yourself that there was nothing inherently wrong or unnatural about the act of feeding on the blood of the living, but a small part of you, one that still remembers the time when your heart beat within your chest, cries out with every opportunity to remind you that you are damned. As with many other kindred, you kept your original name and aspects of your mortal identity, whether as a subconscious effort to anchor your new existence in a bedrock of memorialized humanity or simple nostalgia, you cannot say for sure. But it fits you, and it is yours alone. What name tethers this unlife to a life once lived? Oh, none of these are my name? This is interesting. I don't know what none of these are my name would do, if that would just give me a different name or just not give me a name at all. This is how I gender myself too. Let's do Silas, one, because it fits the vibe, and two, because of Silas Fire Emblem. What is the name of the Fire Emblem game with Silas in it? Conquest, Birthright, and whatever the other one is. He should have been by. You had a family name once, and though it is rarely used, a part of you still clings to its memory. Jones, Martin, Singh, Kuznetsov, Moore. Is that how it looks, or is it like Biver? I'm gonna use Jones because Jones is the last name and the used name of the main character from the game I'm working on, Kaitis. So, yeah, it's gonna be Jones. Moonlight glints off shards of broken glass as you creep along the length of a slowly decaying brick wall, an extended arm of the construction crew's crane shielding your party in its brooding shadow. The sound of your footsteps masked by the rushing water of the nearby hydroelectric dam restraining the waters of Shuttery Falls. I feel like his name isn't pronounced Key. I don't know. Sheriff Key's mortal mercenaries are arrayed like a shield around their masters in a wedge of jet black body armor and bristling semi-automatic rifles. They seem on edge tonight, professional and competent as always, but there's something in their eyes that betrays uncertainty. Gross! What a gross-looking guy. Ahead of you, Bouchard raises a long gnarled hand in warning and you stop in your tracks. Like all kindred of Clan Nosferatu, Bouchard's appearance is monstrous and inhuman. Even his facial features are twisted and misshapen. He turns and raises a finger to his lips, a massive pus-filled boil stretching the skin impressively below the first knuckle. A part of you wonders if the old vampire misses the nightlife above ground, enjoyed by the majority of kindred not afflicted by the Nosferatu's curse. Lord Anox have set up a perimeter. He gestures at the shadowed carcasses of a long-abandoned factory not far ahead, and you catch a brief glimpse of movement. We should cut around over the rubble. Even his whispers grate and gurgle like the depths of a sewer. They weren't supposed to know we were coming, Silas. Jordan pipes up from behind you, taking advantage of the moment to tie back wisps of messy red hair in an impromptu top knot. She may not care much for me, but Corliss is your sire. She should have been more certain before sending us in. I'm getting a bad read on this one. Eden Corliss is acting seneschal of the city, second in command to Prince Arundel himself, and also your sire, the vampire who embraced you as a mortal and brought you into the hidden world of the kindred. Every vampire is reborn into a bloodline that some scholars and cultists believe to be a direct lineage leading back to a progenitor of the biblical age, Cain himself. Clans have formed around these bloodlines, each possessed of certain gifts. These abilities are passed on from sire to child, always marginally diluted the further their generation is removed from the clan's founder. You didn't choose the clan you were brought into, but you adapted well enough over the decades, mastering the disciplines of your clan to the best of your ability. Corliss has seemed pleased with your progress, and when Corliss is pleased, you slumber more soundly. The effects of these disciplines may now be read on your stats page. If you are unfamiliar with Vampire the Masquerade, you may want to examine them before making your choice below. Dominant Fortitude, Presence. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. Disciplines. Animalism, Animal Companion. Auspics enhances senses, auras, lying, or telling if someone's lying. Celerity. I should know this from Fire Emblem. Greatly enhances your speed, dexterity, fighting ability. Dominate, control the minds. Okay. I mean, they certainly make this seem. The possibilities are nearly endless. Yeah, that certainly makes it seem like fucking great. Fortitude. Stamina simply won't be enough to get the job done. Okay, stamina and increased hunger. Obfuscate, fade into darkness. Sneaking, ambush, snooping. I have to be unseen before I can't just like poof. Oblivion, command over shadows, calling forth darkness. Summon shadows to constrict foes. Potence, incredible strength and fighting ability. Presence. Presence allows influence people, enchanting them. Yeah, so this is more like charisma. Okay, let's enhance the senses. Oop, return to game. That's what I want. Okay. Dominate, fortitude, and presence. I'm definitely getting whatever has presence, right? Aspects, celerity, and presence. Celerity, speed. Not that one. Oh, I do wish I had a pet rat. I love rats. Rats are so cute. Um. Oh, I have to have a different. I have to own something else. I don't know if I own this. I mean, I guess it would be DLC added on here. I don't know if I have that. Let me actually look real quick. I can't even remember what bundle this came in, right? I cannot remember getting this. Okay, yeah, I don't have it. Um, so I can only do the top three. Um, I already forgot what Auspex was. Oh, abilities. I'm going to go to disciplines. Um, yeah, Auspex is awesome. I think so. Yeah, this is like rogue adjacent, rogue bard adjacent. I guess. This is the sort of thing I usually go for. Um, Toreador. Toreador. Cool. An artist and socialite with an eye for detail. Poser, degenerate, artist. You've heard all this. Is artist? Artiste? I don't know. You've heard all the slurs over the years, and they might have even bothered you had they been coming from a kindred with some semblance of class. Eden Corliss had groomed you for a high ranking position since the moment she drained the life from your mortal body, training you in everything from the fine arts to the arguably higher art of the social influencer. Oh my god, I'm an influencer. Corliss is a drop Corliss is drop dead gorgeous, and from the moment she walks into a room, even the most languid blood stirs within undead chests. As a child, your behavior reflects on her capabilities, and failure is simply not an option. I love like occult adjacent shit that just likes to add E's onto stuff. Or like, just extra letters like magic with a K and stuff like this. I don't know. Like maybe there's like some other linguistic reason that has an E at the end, but oh god, I forgot his voice. Silas? Jordan asks, watching you quizzically. Sheriff Key has paused behind Bouchard to watch you in in obvious impatience. Jordan was right, of course. Your sire surely did her homework before sending you out here, and she's put too much work into you to send you into a trap unawares. That can only mean something has changed, and the Anarchs are on the move again, perhaps making some kind of power play. It's up to your band to stop them before they can threaten your prince's domain during his absence. You shake your head and try to focus on the matters at hand. Oh, now my voice. We might not be able to take them head on if they're guarding the entrance, you whisper, index finger tracing the curved trigger of your Desert Eagle, a gift from Corliss that you've only recently reacquainted yourself with. The gun feels alien in your grip, but you're certain that your training will kick in if it comes to that. Our briefing said the ward's quarters are in the back end of the factory. Maybe we could cut around it? Key motions for the rest of you to shrink as far back into the shadows as possible, while a path forward is deliberated. He sets down a heavy gasoline can, and you can hear the liquid inside sloshing back and forth, yearning to be set alight. Long black hair frames the eagerness on his face. Key would be considered good-looking as Nosferatu go, but even then there's something unsettling about him by mortal standards, something impossible to place a finger on. I'm not sure if I agree with your sentiments, Silas, he says. There are a dozen of us plus our mercenaries, and there should be less than 6 of them even in the worst-case scenario. Sentries or no, he says, lips pursed thinly in thought. But you're right that we might be better served taking an alternate route. Destroying Ward will be significantly more difficult without the element of surprise. You haven't met him before. Trust me when I say that. Like most of the rabble, he's not to be trifled with. And don't forget the most important thing. Once he's incapacitated, we'll need to let the fire do the rest. That way, there's no coming back. Once the sheriff has finished speaking, one of your party pushes forward from behind to address you. It's Luca, moonlight glinting off inquisitive eyes narrowed with worry. The elder child of Corliss, she's recently returned from overseas where she managed your mutual sire's business interests. Despite you barely knowing each other, she's taken to you with what seems like genuine enthusiasm, greeting you like a long-absent sibling. Her hair, which you swear is a different color every time you see her, has been dyed dark blue for the occasion. She wears tight, form-fitting clothes that stand in stark contrast to the other kindred in the raiding party, but if she's anything like her sire, you doubt her dubious choice of attire will hinder her ability to fight. I've run the numbers, she says in a barely audible whisper. The intelligence reports show that there shouldn't be more than 6 anarchs in the city at the moment. All the others we've been tracking have shown their faces around Montreal within the last few nights. They could have made their way here by now, at least in theory, but my eyes and ears in Quebec are certain they haven't left. That settles it, then, Key says decisively. No retreat. Silas? He grabs your full attention. Nests of anarchs infiltrating our prince's domain without his knowledge or blessing are a cancer that the Camarilla has seen again and again, and it's only gotten worse since so many of the Bruja and Gangrel clans have defected to join them. If we leave them here to fester, they're a masquerade breach waiting to happen. The Masquerade. The one set of rules almost all civilized kindred can agree upon. Mortals can never be allowed to learn about the supernatural reality that encircles them. Nothing is more important to a vampire in modern nights. Of course, such widespread deception is impossible to maintain constantly, and the occasional breach has led to the rise of professional vampire hunters and secretive government agencies allied into a second inquisition, the greatest threat to your kind in centuries. The sheriff gestures toward the building beyond. We're here to take out their leader. Widening our scope to include the other agitators lessens our chances of decapitating the beast. Corliss told me that your input is to be trusted, Silas, so now's your time to show us what you're made of. What's your read on the situation? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do my heightened senses using my favorite give second to drastically heighten my senses to survey the field. I'll go ahead and read the others in case I have different options next time. We should cut around. We should cut around behind the old factory, stealthily avoiding the sentries. We have a job to do, and we can't risk losing our primary target. The Anarchs are a threat. I say we charge and slay them all as quickly as possible with overwhelming force. Left unchecked, any of them could bring ruin to the city in Prince Andril's absence. We need to take them all out, but we should do it quietly. I'll risk sneaking ahead of the main forces with the key to take down the sentries in silence before signaling the others forward. We need to keep cool heads and remember our mission. We'll circle around the factory, but we'll do it quickly before Ward has a chance to escape. Okay, and I'm going to use my gifts. You counsel Bouchard and Key to be silent for a moment and close your eyes, channeling your blood into your senses of perception. You open them again, and while the construction site hasn't technically changed, myriad of new elements of the topography stand out that you had previously been unaware of. You imagine it's not all that unlike a blind man miraculously being able to see for the first time. You scrutinize the factory where Bouchard has noted the sentries, immediately spotting at least two more humanoid shapes lurking deeper in the shadows. There are two more sentries, you whispered. Key curses. Not only that, you continue, the ones in the dark have guns, too. There's no question, then, Lucas says, arms crossed as she peers in the same direction. We have to go around and catch them by surprise. Bouchard glides over to you, his steps almost silent, even to your enhanced senses, although the stench of the ancient sewer rat is enough to make you feel ill. I don't think I had a voice for him yet. Look for heavy trod areas away from the obvious entrance. A side door or escape vector. You'd noticed it before you even spoke. A small door of corrugated metal blending in almost perfectly with the rusted wall of decaying building. The area immediately outside it has been disturbed by multiple sets of footprints, and you'd guess it was recently. You tell the old Nos what you see, and he nods thoughtfully before passing the info off to Key. We should use the hidden door, Lucas says, and you can tell she sensed it too. I mean, they could have sentries anywhere, but they're least likely to expect us coming this way, and it's closer to where the report says Ward's chambers are. It would be stupid to waste our time attacking from the front. This is a smart option. Don't you agree? Luca is right. We can't get carried away and rush in. Taking the side doors the only smart choice. The hidden entrance could be a trap. The Anarchs are a danger to us all, and if left unchecked, we should charge in. Or, the Anarchs are a danger to us all if left unchecked. We should charge in and destroy them all. The hidden door is too much of a gamble. We should circle quietly behind the factory, attacking it from behind. Yeah, I'm gonna go secret door. Corliss insisted that I respect your input, but are you certain this is the best course of action? Key asked you and Luca. As sheriff, I have several mandates from the prince, including punishing those who flout the tradition of hospitality. These kindred have not only abandoned the Camarilla, but they've infringed on our domain unannounced. The penalty for such a violation is final death. Corliss ordered a blood hunt on Robert Ward, you say. If we get caught up fighting his fodder, he could escape and all this would be for nothing. It's a fair point. Oh, it's Bouchard, the guy from the beginning, and I just forgot his name. I'll just keep it what I have now, Bouchard rasps. Let's do what we came to do and be done with it. This should be a job for the mercenaries, and I'm growing weary of running about in all this moonlight. Bad for the skin. Key groans, but you can still see the indecision in his eyes. Normally I'd override this decision, he growls. But you're correct, Silas. The Seneschal's orders were clear. We'll avoid the front entrance and concentrate on getting to Ward as quickly as possible. We can't allow him a chance to escape. Luca grins. This will be good. He won't suspect a thing. The rusty corrugated metal bites into the palms of your hands as you shift it gently to the side. It's not so much a door as a makeshift panel to camouflage a hole in the factory wall, but your second sight rarely lies. This entrance was favored by a number of past arrivals. You take your time, the doors shifting almost imperceptibly as you gaze into the blackness beyond. Your eyes shift slowly, penetrating the dark and revealing its secrets. What you discover nearly sends you into a panic. Each time your eyes sweep through the murk, they notice yet another sentry, each armed with a heavy rifle, held at sling-ready position. You count it a small blessing that each is focused on the front entrance rather than the shadowed breach you entered through, but if you stay there, it's only a matter of time before a stray glance reveals your position. You can feel Luca shift behind you, stifling a gasp when she sees them too. Not far from you, a dim light marks the location of Robert Ward's office and the exact place your intelligence report suggested it would be. Closer scrutiny reveals an outline well described by Corliss, a bulky behemoth that could only be the quarry you seek. You move aside as the last of the mercenaries silently enter the building, using hand signals to coordinate their advance. We have to move in, Key whispers low enough that you can barely hear him from a foot away. There's someone approaching us from behind. They were ready for us, you reply, creeping inside at Sheriff's behest. Armed sentries. Key slips past you, creeping through the dark alongside Bouchard with uncanny agility, wearing the shadows like a cloak as they both target two guards between your position and Ward's office. Not for the first time, you marvel at the horror's ability to hide in plain sight, although you're hardly envious. Simply imagining your features scarred and peppered with fissures and pustules makes you feel ill. Nonetheless, never let it be said that they aren't good at their work. Bouchard strikes first, covering his victim's mouth with a pallid hand before pulling him into the darkness. Key follows much the same, and in a matter of seconds they appear by your side once again. One side of Key's mouth is quirked up in a smile. Mortals, he whispers. Most of these sentries are mortal. We have a clear shot to his office now. We're not going to get a better chance at this. You approach the office. You're almost to your target, and as far as you can tell, you haven't been detected. Why have mortals on the patrol when he has command over the local anarchs? Did you kill them? Well, Ward just made this easier for us, then let's go. Don't waste time with words, let's end this. Yeah, let's go with the top one. Front line of defense, Key whispers. Not enough anarchs, and he doesn't seem worried about masquerade breaches. Just another reason he has to be destroyed tonight. Luca peers out through the darkness. Or it's just meant as a visual deterrent. He might have been hoping we'd see them and decide to back off. Not his lucky night, then, Bouchard rattles. Let's go make things worse for him. Is Jordan not here, or does Jordan not just have anything to say? Yeah, Jordan was another guy, right? Not the other guy, any of these? Oh, achievement. Locate Ward during the blood hunt without being seen. Nice. That popped up here, right? Oh my god. That's so many. How the hell? Robert Ward leaps back from behind a cheap metal desk, kicking it forward in an effort to slow you down. At first you think you've tracked down the wrong man. Well-worn jean overalls, smudged with black grease, and a red checkered shirt hardly evoke a sense of fear or respect, but one glance at Key's face confirms that you're right where you're supposed to be. Momentary surprise vanishes from Ward's face, replaced with grim determination as he dashes forward faster than your eye can track and grabs you by the neck. With your heightened awareness, you can feel each individual muscle in his fingers contracting as he lifts you from the floor. Corliss's child? Ward grunts, eyes narrowing as he scrutinizes your face. You're being used, Silas. This isn't how it has to end. I don't know why I gave him that accent, but there it is. Um, this is exactly how it needs to end. What do you mean? You're the one trying to strangle me. You anarchs are all the same. I'll brawn no brains. Um, this sounds wild to say whenever, like, if this was just me, I wasn't told why they want you dead, just put me down and we'll talk. If this was just me here, this would make more sense. I feel like this would be an easy way for, like, everyone else to turn on me if I said it. Um, what do you mean I'm being used? You're the one trying to strangle me. I have very little choice at the moment, he growls, eyes shifting to Bouchard as the Nosferatu slink toward him, fangs bared, making way for Luca and Jordan. Oh, there's Jordan, to aim their guns. They hesitate, only holding back their shots to avoid hitting you. Your mind has been tampered with, Silas. Question those in power around you and you'll learn the truth. We'll meet again. The muscles in Ward's left hand tense around your neck as his right arm wraps around your torso with the speed of a viper. In your peripheral vision, you can see Key charging forward, seemingly in slow motion, as the world revolves around you in a sickening spiral. Ward heaves you backward with such force that the fragile brick wall explodes outward, sending you flying almost 100 feet into the open air in a graceless arc, your world tumbling around you. Time seems to slow as you descend, jagged pieces of rebar slashing at your neck and chest as you manage to twist aside just in time to avoid being impaled grotesquely on the leaning wall of a partially demolished building. You hit the ground, skidding and twisting through a field of heavy gravel and chunks of pulverized concrete, which tear at your open wound. Okay, sorry. I was so focused on reading that, I didn't actually read it. Okay, I got thrown through a brick wall. Okay, cool. When you finally come to a stop, your vision swims. Your vision swims, red rimmed and dark in one eye. You blink for a moment. For a moment, imagining you must be hallucinating. But then the spinning twin visions converge on each other, manifesting in the form of a cowering mortal couple. One of them has been struck in the head by a fist-sized chunk of brick. Blood oozes from the deep gash, and their companion, who had been holding a bit of cloth to the forehead in an attempt to staunch the flow, has dropped it in favor of shielding their partner. Stinging pangs of desire overwhelm you, and for a moment all you can see is a talking sack of meat and blood. Please, the mortal stutters. We need to get to a doctor. Stupid thing to say, if only because you doubtless look worse than they do. Your hands claw at the dust and gravel as you pull yourself forward, unable to vocalize your desperate need, your only true desire in this moment. Primal hunger overwhelms years of social programming and Camarilla directives. The loss of blood as your body mended itself has awakened the beast within. You must feed. As you grow closer, you lose focus and the couple swims before your eyes, their faces changing into ghostly visions. As what remains of your humanity does battle with the beast, threatening to consume you, it digs through long-hidden memories, slowly reeling you back from the brink of badness. The appearance of the injured mortal twists and morphs until you are staring into a mirrored set of eyes, a mirrored face, a mirrored soul from a time before it was uh, indelibly stained by corruption. You would weep to see this early version of yourself if you had tears left to shed. This choice determines your gender and age. Image of a young woman, young man, middle-aged woman, middle-aged man. Okay, cool. None of these are adequate to describe my gender. My identity can be defined in such narrow terms. Yeah, let's see how they handle the non-binary option. Maybe I'll choose my age next time, or maybe I'm just also ageless. um, okay, here we go. You find your own identity outside the common dictates of society, but as a mortal, age visited your earthly body the same as it would any other. I'm gonna say middle-aged because I'm not middle-aged yet, IRL, but let's do it. Your eyes shift away from your mirror image to, oh no, to Zer. Oh, I wish I could have chosen pronouns. Like this isn't a slight against like neo pronouns or anything. It's just like I just much prefer they them for myself. If I'm gonna be immersed in this, I would have rather, I don't know, chosen like he him or something. Chosen a dude. Um, than have zer pronouns. I mean, I guess again, it's fine. Neo pronouns are fine. It's just like it's kind of not what I was expecting. Especially those, like I don't know. I guess that those are one of the two common sets back before they then became really common. And I guess I don't know when this was written technically. Um, your eyes shift away from your mirror image to Zur companion, and a sharp pang of anguish racks your body and mind. Long forgotten memories of a partner you once cherished float before you, marred by the deep gash on their forehead, a bloody omen of an unforgivable betrayal that will never truly be forgotten, no matter how distant your undeath draws you from your earlier life. Woman I once loved, a man. Okay, yeah, let's be two non-binary people. I do like the options for this. Like you can be Ace or Arrow. I mean it depends on what you consider this option to be. I know that like so to me this is an aromantic coded option, but there are a lot of people who see a choice to not have a romance as an ace option as well. And I think obviously there's some overlap there. It's I don't know. I just think I don't want to tell ace people how they define themselves and what they see as ace representation, but um, even though I'm also an ace person, but yeah, non-binary partner. In this moment of pure animal desperation, all you can think of, all you want in the world, is to brush your lips against theirs and banish the eternal cold of on death, even if only for a fraction of a second. To relive some of what has been lost, to heal your mind as well as your body. This unearthly desire proves too great to resist, and you draw forward, embracing your lover and pulling them close. They struggle at first, but eventually yield to your touch, a deep groan of pleasure on their lips. They get they them pronouns. The feeling is euphoric. Hot tears stream down your cheeks, and your chest constricts with gut-wrenching emotion as your embrace bands for what feels like hours of pure bliss. And there's and then there is pain. You're able to ignore it at first, but it returns with a vengeance as your lover is torn from your arms, a sad smile etched on their lips. No! The word rips its way out from the bottom of your black and shriveled lungs. Not again! Your eyes shift to the demon pulling your lover away, and you recognize yourself in its face once again. Not as you once were, but as you are now. Soul twisted and shriveled, a gaping maw with protruding fangs. Hello!
Hi.
Oh, yeah, let me respond to... Oh, yeah, Rainy's here, too. Okay, I was about to respond to Rainy. Hi, hi, hi.
I I literally saw Rainey's message and I was like, "Oh, a thing is happening."
Things happening.
Things happening. I'm sorry I'm late.
That's fine. I wasn't sure who all would be able to show up, which is, why I started recording. Um, but yeah, so we're playing um Vampire the Masquerade, Parliament of Knives. It's interactive fiction. And we just went through a whole thing where we were looking to kill a different vampire who's kind of like rebellious and anarch. We're part of the main society. Kind of implied that we're kind of like the bad guy vamps. Are we the baddies? And this is the good
Vampire
guy who's trying to
cops.
be like chill and shit. Uh, Um, but we failed
Am
to capture
I?
him. Huh?
Just am I the villain?
Yeah. But he was like real chill to you. He was like, you're being manipulated. Your mind has been fucked with. We'll meet again. And then threw you through a wall. And you are currently in a vision, in which you choose your, uh, age, gender, and either romantic partner or just that you didn't have a romantic partner, but and it's your best friend or whatever, who is being ripped away from you by a vision of yourself, and it's like you're just dealing with your own like humanity and everything right now.
Cool.
But yeah, they had a non-binary option, so I chose that. And they had non-binary option for the partner, so I chose that. You know?
Hell yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yes, so yeah, anyway, you like make out with the vision of your partner for a while.
As one
And
would.
as you would, because like, you know, implied death from betrayals, so like you probably, when you got turned, you probably killed them, is probably what's going on.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you know how it goes with vampire stuff. Um but yeah, and like you chose stats and everything, like well, you didn't choose stats, you chose like oh, disciplines. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I got this where I can enhance senses and maybe even tell if someone's lying. I'm fast. I'm fast.
Fast.
And I'm an influencer.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's the character's name from Spider-Man PS4? Screwball.
I have no idea.
My brain always confuses Screwball with Speedball, and
Oh,
I'm always under the impression that, like, I don't know why she didn't use her super speed. It's because she doesn't have it. That's a different character.
that would do it. And then I got an achievement. I reached Ward, which is the guy that we were trying to kill, and he was being niceys to me before he threw me through a wall. Without being spotted, because I was sneak, and I had super senses to see a secret entrance. There's a shit ton of achievements.
Oh god, stats. Oh, achievements.
So
Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's also achievements, or also stats. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I got to choose my name. It doesn't show my last name for some reason, but Jones was an option for the last name, so I'm like, well, obviously I'm choosing Jones. That's the I mean, Jan, you know, but that's the main character's name in the game I'm making, Kaitis. She goes
That's
by
how
her
that's
last name,
pronounced.
Jones. Yeah, I always say Kaitis, but I looked it up and it's pronounced Kaitis. It's Latin,
Yeah.
you know.
I was pronouncing it Cades.
It's however you want to pronounce it. Pronunciation isn't real. Language is fake.
Saidus.
Yeah, right. But yeah, we'll just return to where is it? Return to the game. But yeah, I need to get a stat screen in my game. Yeah, I do kind of. I don't know how I feel about. I was talking about this before because of course I'm recording myself, so I was just talking to myself for a while. About like the pronouns, because I gave they them pronouns to my partner, but I got z zer pronouns for me, and I wish if I was gonna choose all this stuff I could have been able to choose my pronouns too. And I don't know, I guess they chose like the different sets of pronouns to differentiate between like yourself as non-binary and your partner as non-binary, but it's still just like, I don't know, with all the other choices, it's just like you couldn't have given me like one more choice for like a few different pronoun options, you know?
But that would have been simple.
Yeah, it's fine. It just threw me off. But yeah, let's get back into it. No, the word rips its way out from the bottom of your black shriveled lungs. I'm a smoker, I guess.
You didn't take care of your lungs, and now you're like this.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Now
Hustle just
all
messing
of the
with-
dialogue must be delivered like Palpatine.
No, I have already had to voice two kind of gravelly characters because there's There's like different
Fair.
clans, and like one of them is Nosferatu, who are like they got like boils and shit all over their face. They're just real gross. Um,
I got oils?
they got boils.
Oh, boils. I heard oils, and I'm like,
Oils.
They probably
why
got
are they so
oils too.
oily?
I mean, they probably are oily.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm also fucking with volume a little bit. I was kind of surprised that there was no music for this. Like, it makes sense because it's just like interactive fiction. I don't know. I'd expected music. I actually didn't realize this was interactive fiction when I first put it on my list, but like, obviously, I write interactive fiction. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna not play it just because it's that. That'd be wild. Blah, 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 blah.
Eh.
Your eyes shift to the demon, pulling your lever away, and you recognize yourself in its face once again. Not as you once were, but as you are now, soul twisted and shriveled, a gaping maw with protruding fangs. You leap forward, ripping your doppelganger away from Zur. Wait, they used they them for the. I thought they used they them for the partner before. Whatever. From Zur. From Zurprey. Okay, let me finish the sentence. From Zurprey before plunging your teeth into Zurnek. Not ever again, you grunt against Zurflesh. Crimson bubbles flowering at the edges of your mouth as you scream
sorry?
defiance. Huh?
What was that word?
Crimson
Crimson
bubbles
what?
flowering?
Bubbles. It like cut out at exactly the wrong time, so it sounded like you said crimson buttholes.
Yeah, crimson buttholes flowering at the edges of your mouth.
Exactly.
What a trip, man! I know you got thrown through a wall, but the wall was the wall laced with LSD?
My brain
this is
told
probably
having a
vampire
hell of
shit.
a time.
At that shit through your mouth as you scream defiance, even while you drain your personal demon dry. It's like screaming into a pillow. If you're also biting your pillow, I don't know. Like, how do you say? I don't know. I'm just real deep into saying "not ever again" while your mouth is full. Yeah. When at last he breathes no more, you fall back, triumphant exultion, fading as your body finishes knitting itself together again. Reality settles around you again, and you feel a biting sting of dread as you turn to take in the true scene. Oh yeah, it started out with you, like after you got knocked through the wall, you saw two people, two mortals, one with their head bleeding, and that's when suddenly, like, one of them looked like you, and one of them looked like your old partner, and the hallucination started, and you were very hungry because your body was like stitching itself up. And then here's the true scene. Trip is over. The mutilated body of a young mortal lies sprawled on the ground, Zernek torn open and hanging at an unnatural anger, expression locked in sheer terror and disbelief. Z's tightly grasping the hand of another young mortal, they'd somehow held on even as she drained the life from Zur body. Unlike their partner, the young person has yet to succumb to oblivion. Irregular breathing causes their chests to rise and fall, and their eyes drift listlessly until they alight on you, your lips and chin slathered in a mix of blood from both your victims. They try to scream, but find themselves unable to summon the necessary breath, and all that comes from their lips is the pitiful squeak of a prey animal. They're dying. They know it. You know it. I don't want to die here, they rasp, their knuckles going white as they clutch their dead partner's hand. Your head is spinning as you sink to your knees before them, unable to banish the vision of your lover's face. Their expression of betrayal was not at all dissimilar to the gaze of this young one, soft eyes searching for answers and wondering why, how you could have done such a thing. Please, they whimper. I can never forgive this mortal for reminding me of my past self so harshly. I hardened my heart and slit their throat. They deserve mercy. Killing them quickly is the most humane thing I can do. I can't bear to cause this innocent mortal any more harm. I turn my back and allow them to bleed out in peace. Yeah, bleeding out in peace.
Yeah, of course.
That seems right. If we know anything about how Vriska felt about bleeding out.
Yeah. If we know anything about bleeding out, it's a peaceful event.
Yeah, bleed out in peace. That's such a way to phrase it. Like, I get the intent
I
behind
can't
it.
hurt them anymore.
Yeah,
also like,
the phrasing.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. Just yeah. They deserve mercy. Um, like they're gonna die no matter what. I thought maybe one of the options would be to
yeah. I
turn them, but
was,
that'd be wild.
yeah, exactly. I guess
Um,
not.
I think that adding a whole new character would significantly change the story. Um, unless someone came up and then killed him right after, they're like, you shouldn't do that. That was against the whatever it's called, the rules. Um, but okay, yeah, let's just kill him. You're not certain why you chose to take mercy on this mortal. Oh man, I think you just kind of explained it in the last one.
Yeah,
The memories they evoked are painful, and part of your undead instinct dearly wishes for them to suffer for making you remember. I guess that's fair, because you're a monster and you have, like, these instincts and stuff. Perhaps your mercy is merely pragmatism. If your victim somehow manages to survive against all odds, they could be a masquerade risk. Oh yeah, masquerade is what they call the,
yeah. It's what the whole game is named after.
I know. I just I have never played Vampire the Masquerade. I have
Gotcha.
never done like, not the games, not the tabletop. But so the Masquerade is like the statute of secrecy, which is flamboyant because they're vampires.
Yeah.
Flamboyant.
They could be a masquerade risk that may be traced back to you, and your sire would doubtlessly treat you with far less charity than you showed your own victim. You kneel beside them and bring your hand to their throat, your dead eyes causing them to shudder and look away. Their neck is ruined from ruptured blood vessels and ragged skin. You
Ragged
can almost
skin.
feel the throbbing of what little blood remains in those pulsating veins. This is squeaking me out, for real though.
Yeah.
But you hold yourself back from draining them dry. Your other hand joins the first in a chokehold, starving the dying body of oxygen. They sputter feebly, trying to call out for help, and go limp. You release their neck with disgust. It's been decades since you've bled kine for any reason other than to feed. Perhaps you've gone too soft. You need to thank Corliss for having the wisdom to send you on this mission. Your newly mended legs carry you over the stony grit with remarkable strength. Your renewed sense of vigor immediately apparent as you tread uneven terrain. The crashing churn of the nearby dam might largely mask the sound of gunfire if you didn't know to listen, but sporadic bursts indicate that the battle is still in full swing. You round a large pile of dirt, approaching the building from the rear when you hear a guttural shout of warning from within. The factory abruptly explodes in a fiery conflagration.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a
It's a good
rundown
thing you fed
factory.
on the. It's a
Yeah,
good thing you fed.
Jesus.
yeah. But yeah, it was like a rundown factory that you were in, and one dude that you were with had gasoline that he very desperately seemed to want to use. So I guess this shouldn't be a surprise. Showering you in an avalanche of brick, wood, and concrete debris. You stand still for a moment, stunned and rooted to the spot before your bestial vampiric instincts overwhelm you and you flee the fire, heedless of other more mundane concerns. Like, okay, so the gas was to light the guy on fire to, like, make him permadead. But still, I mean, if someone's, like, really eager to use gasoline, some shit's gonna blow up. Heedless of other more mundane concerns. It takes several minutes for you to wrest control back and turn yourself around. You grind your teeth as you force your feet to carry you back toward the demolished building, your unnaturally strong aversion to flames screaming in the back of your mind. The air itself smells burnt, and your eyes sting from the clouds of disturbed dust. That maniac Ward must have rigged the place to blow. Or maybe it wasn't the gasoline guy. The shock wears off when you see that the flames have already burnt out. The majority of the building was built of metal and brick, and you must try not to cringe as you wade into the wreckage, gun held at the ready. Someone in your group must have survived. They can't all be destroyed. Luca, yeah, I mean that she's close to me after all the trial of my own sire. My thoughts return to Key, the guy with the gasoline. If anyone, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. If anyone can get us out of this mess, it'll be the sheriff. Hopefully I can find him. Oh, Jordan is a girl. I definitely voiced her as a guy. I I need to find Jordan. She's the closest person I have to a true ally in the city. Okay. Like, Jordan barely talked throughout all of this. Like, we had, like, and it's to the point that I'm like, oh, wait, is Jordan still here? But yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go find Jordan because, bros before hoes. I don't, I guess these guys are the hoes. It takes several minutes of digging, but you finally discover Jordan trapped beneath a fallen support beam. She gasps in pain, reaching out as she shifts a heavy piece of hot metal to the side with a monumental heave. I knew you'd come, she says, but you can see her frightened eyes. You can see in her frightened eyes that she was sure of no such thing. We had Ward on the run. Key was sure we had him. So it seconds the explosives off. Did you manage to finish him? All the others okay. Let's do that one. Unless you guys want to chime in. There's supposed to be like a Discord event, so I guess I could ask you guys for input. But ultimately, I'm too much of a control freak to let you guys have too much control over stories.
Fair enough.
Yeah, are the others okay?
Who's Ward?
The Ward is the guy that we tried to kill.
The villain who's actually the good guy?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like
it's just
once...
like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I watched that. Oh yeah, yes, Ward. Yeah, until Dawn, man.
Yeah, actually.
Yes, he's Until Dawn, man. That's what I know him for.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah, that's Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, that's him.
I thought the joke was just that they look the same. That is actually
no,
the
that's
same
him.
dude.
That's 100% him. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. They got Mike Ward. They got Rami Malek.
Not her actual name, Claire. Save the Cheerleader, Save the World.
Listen, yes. But yeah, are the others okay? I saw Bouchard crawl out of some rubble a minute ago, but he didn't hear me calling for him. The explosion was so loud. Portions of her neck are covered in a fine char, which you know from personal experience will take several nights to mend. We need to get you out of here, you say urgently, pulling her up to her feet. You're in no shape to put up a fight. Don't worry, Jordan says, shaking her leg, grimacing as something pops back into place with a wet crunch. Gross. This isn't where my story ends. You wrap an arm around her shoulder and support her weight as you weave your way through a labyrinth of rubble. But I'm starting to wonder, she mumbles, lost in thought for a moment. If I didn't see the blast coming, what else could I have missed? She sucks air between her teeth sharply before pushing you away from her. You stumble to the ground, caught off guard by the unexpected shove, more injured by the unexplained slight than any physical pain. One of Ward's sentries steps out from behind a snaggletooth column and fires through the air where you were less than a second ago. You can hear the bullet chip the concrete foundation behind you. Above, Jordan replies to the crack of gunfire calmly in a disturbing monotone voice that you've heard once before. Drop your weapon. A brief moment's hesitation, and the man does as he is commanded. The gun clatters to the ground. Sit. The mortal does so immediately. No matter how many times you see such mental abilities in practice, it never becomes any less awe-inspiring. Yeah, no, for the mind control one, it like almost literally says this is OP as fuck. The possibilities are nearly endless. Like,
incredible.
I love that.
Seeing that there is a Vampire the Masquerade interactive fiction, I don't know if is this like an official thing or
I can't imagine that it'd be unofficial. Like I bought it on Steam.
Yeah, because it is named the actual.
Yeah,
like,
there's I think all of them.
Steam?
Huh?
Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying you can actually buy it on Steam.
Yeah, it's I have this one. There's I think all of the ones I have are official novels. I have Coteries of New York, Night Road, Out for Blood, Shadows of New York, and Sins of the Sires.
Gotcha.
Hey.
I just see this and I want to there's a fan made version or I'm never quite sure what to call installments in the World of Darkness. A game. There's a fan made game in the World of Darkness called Princess the Hopeful
Oh.
that I really want to play, but it has a World of Darkness sized character sheet, so like no one's going to play it with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
God, I know that. There was one time I was actually going to buy the legitimate core book for
Yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade, but money was super tight then and I never got a chance to, but I'm like, yeah, I want to play it. I'm reading through it and I'm like, God, there's so much stuff, but I still want to play.
Yeah. Princess the Hopeful is but I don't know if you're aware, the World of Darkness is like Vampire the Masquerade and also a bunch of other like monsters and creatures.
Is it in the same world as I have one of the books for Changeling? Is that in the same universe or is that
Yes.
separate?
Yeah, basically if there is a TTRPG named Creature the something, it's in the same World of Darkness. Those are all the same universe.
Sweet. So there's fairies and there's vampires.
Yes, and there's mad scientists and also yeah.
Who doesn't love a good bad scientist?
And so there's a fan-made one called Princess the Hopeful that started as a joke, but then like became the most famous fan-made game in the World of Darkness, where you play as magical girls.
Nice.
And basically the idea is like these are pretty much the only like explicitly heroic characters in this fucking universe.
That's so funny.
So like I really want to play Princess the Hopeful because like not even all of the princesses are technically good guys. You can still be a fucking asshole if you want.
Yeah.
Like
that's great.
Yeah. It's delightful.
Okay. Oh yeah, down here. Jordan hunkers down next to the man on bent knees, weight resting on her toes. She places her index finger and thumbs along the length of the mortal's forehead and speaks softly enough that you can't quite make out what she's saying. The man shivers and then looks up at Jordan warily before grimacing in disgust and gets to his feet. You can tell by looking at him in the You can tell by looking him in the eye that Jordan has rewritten his memories. No monsters, no vampires, just people killing people. I can't do a French-Canadian accent.
Unfortunately, it will just have to be French.
Ah, man, don't make me do a French accent. I can't believe they left me here to die, the man says in a thick French-Canadian accent, spitting on the floor with a snarl as he checks the readiness of his weapons. A sharp knife glimmers on the ground below him, where he must have dropped it during Jordan's mental manipulation. If you hadn't saved me, I might have... He reaches out to shake your hand. Thank you. Shake his hand like nothing is wrong and let him go. Asking questions might ruin Jordan's work.
Eat his hand.
Shake his hand. Where did you meet the man who hired you? Where did you your squad find his group? I fucking murder him. Just murder him.
Just straight up murder him.
Hey, remember how you did like that mental gymnastics to like chill the guy out? What if I just kill him though?
What if no?
What if death? That's so funny.
Fuck it.
I do feel like since the man who hired him is a vampire, asking this, like I don't know. I feel like the top one is how I should do. If Jordan thinks that more questions can be asked, Jordan can ask the questions. I don't know how that shit works. You take the mercenary's hand. It's slick and gritty with perspiration and powdered concrete dust. He shakes it warmly, and you imagine that in whatever fiction Jordan spun in his mind, you were instrumental to escaping with his life. Best of luck to the two of you. I already forgot what his voice was. He says, and you can tell that he's sincere. He turns and sprints off into the night, not looking back. Okay, I can't tell what I made his voice. Can't remember.
You did the absolute spitting image of French Canadian.
Cool. You navigate the crumbled walls and beams, exhaling a sigh of relief when you finally exit the factory. Key and Luca are arguing over a kneeling prisoner who's badly wounded and bound tightly. Behind them, you see Bouchard and the others. Many are singed or limping, but none of them seem to have met final death. Key gives you an appraising look. It looks like you're tougher than I thought, Silas. What hit you like a damn truck? It's good to see you too, Sheriff. Gross. Key pushes the prisoner. I'm just saying gross to fucking everything. This is not nearly as gross as the other image, which was of one of the Boyle guys, the Nosferatu. Key pushes the prisoner to get him moving. The Pharaoh looks none too pleased, but he follows his instructions, for now. We need to go, the sheriff says, his calm cracking under pressure as he looks about furtively. Eden can only keep the police away for so long. If we get caught, we'll be wishing that maniac had finished us off in the warehouse. Your exhausted party picks themselves up and limps toward the bridge leading back to Ottawa. Your pace speeding up when sirens blare from the north over the border in why is this in Canada with all the French names?
Really?
Gatineau? Gatineau? Bouchard nearly topples over as he lurches into a run, and two of his mercenaries lean down to help him up. Luca looks over her shoulder, face painted with worry. Oh god. I'm a fucking Aaron Game Grumps with my inability to have more than one girl voice. Corliss doesn't have the research that Prince did across the river, or that the Prince did across the river, she says, and you arrive at the edge of the construction site. If Arundel really was beckoned, we have a lot of slack to pick up. It's a good thing Corliss brought me back here when she did. She edges into a full run as the police sirens grow closer. It's too early to make assumptions, you grunt, your foot almost catching on a metal support bar as you cross the bridge at a run. We already have enough trouble with the Anarchs. Rarely is the weight of power more keenly felt than in the event of its sudden absence. The bedrock of Ottawa's Camarilla society had been patiently chipped away by 100 knives, each skillfully wielded by those kindred whose day-spawned dreams bloomed ripe with a hunger for ascension, eternally waiting just out of reach. But they could wait. On death, after all, conferred a distinct advantage over the fleeting ambitions of humanity, and now, it seemed, their long nights of plotting were about to pay off. 4 nights ago, Ottawa's prince had simply disappeared, abandoning engagements which he had always routinely met with extreme punctuality. What was first seen as an unusual political slight became a concern on the second night of missed appearances, and by the third and fourth, unrest within the community was all but inevitable. As the Prince Seneschal, your sire, Eden Corliss, now faces the full weight of responsibility, and powerful kindred have already expressed doubts about her ability to handle the pressure, even before Arundel's Vanishing Act. Of course, if she manages to impress them, she may rise to the office of Prince herself. Despite what some might think, the title has always been gender neutral. Homestuck discourse at it again!
What?
A quick dash to safety. That's funny that it's not like a normal choice. It's nearly dawn when you arrive back in your haven, exhausted from the night's events. You throw open the carved wooden doors, pleased to find Gerard waiting for... Oh yeah, that's my butler. At the beginning, I had a choice of how I get my victims, and like I could already tell that the guy I was playing was kind of like a dickbag. One of the baddies. And so like my choices were, God, I forget all the choices, but one of them was to have Gerard have this guy go out and get my victims for me, and I thought that was really funny. So I guess this is my butler. Pleased to find Gerard waiting for you attentively, his face creased with worry. He's dressed as befits his station, a well-tailored suit not quite ostentatious enough as to feel completely out of place on the average Ottawa street, but sufficiently genteel if he were required to attend the larger kindred court. Your clothes are in tatters, he says dryly. Did your evening not go as planned? When you don't immediately respond, he continues, Fortunately, I've recently acquired a new vessel for you. He's waiting in the guest room should you have need of him. I just love a butler like this guy. This guy who goes out and get you dudes to feed on. Whereas many kindred of your standing employ more than one retainer to do their bidding, you'd been fortunate enough with Gerard's skill set that the idea of acquiring a second servant rarely enters your mind. As with many personal attendants, Gerard is a ghoul, a mortal who has been granted a taste of your own blood in exchange for unnatural strength and abilities. These powers come at the price of much of their free will. Ghouls become addicted to their masters or mistress's blood. I love how like this is where the gender binary appears again, and withdrawal symptoms can be quite cruel. So why only have one when they make such devoted servants? Each ghoul requires maintenance, a regular feeding of your own precious vitae, to maintain their agelessness and enhance strength, and you have little wish to be so burdened with the additional upkeep where one superior servant will do nicely. Universally adapted to your needs, your ghoul also excels in one area in particular. Gerard was once a soldier for a major crime syndicate, still has contacts in the underworld. He was once financial assistant for one of my sire's companies. His skills bring additional cash. He was a butler for one of the wealthiest families north of the U.S. border. His attention to detail is almost uncanny.
Yo, you do have Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. Cash flow and problem solving is nice. I think I'm kind of tempted by the attention to detail. But I don't know that he just like deals, so I don't have to think of the money and like consequences. you know.
Fair.
Gerard was a financial prodigy from an early age, poached by one of Corliss's firms directly out of university. Several years ago, he chose an unfortunate night for unauthorized overtime and witnessed the grisly murder of an Anarch agent. Spotted by Arundel, he was given a choice between death and eternal life as your ghoul, spared only due to his extraordinary skill. Far from being horrified, Gerard had enthusiastically assented to Angel's servitude. He'd taken the bond with unusual ease and been a loyal servant ever since. You discard your clothes, and Gerard collects them gingerly, his nose wrinkling at the state of their disrepair. These won't be much of use to you anymore, he says. I'll see about replacing them. I already forgot your voice, too. That would be good, Gerard. Thank you. If I may be so bold, master, Gerard asked with an unusual degree of trepidation in his voice, has Prince Arundel resurfaced yet? I've heard rumors among the servants. They believe he's left the city. Damn. Mind your own business, Gerard. We don't know yet. I believe all is well. Just glare at him. Just glare at him. Don't even tell him to mind his own business. Just look at him.
A servant should know better than to ask such questions.
Yeah. We don't know yet. I admit. I'll be speaking with Corliss about it tomorrow, once I've had time to rest. I don't know. If I have, like, one super good servant, I think I'm going to be honest with that one super good servant. If I had, like, multiple, there'd be, like, one I'd be more chill with than others, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck off. Quit asking questions above your station.
That was unexpectedly candid of you, master. I mean, is it unexpected? Or am I choosing how my relationship with this guy is?
Yeah.
Gerard says, I appreciate it. The greater my knowledge, the better I will be able to serve. Your
Gerard,
voice
for
is
the
terrible.
rest of this, is just like, what, Master? You're being much kinder this time.
No more
you've been much
beatings,
kinder
Master!
to me. You've been much kinder to me these past couple of weeks. I don't know what's changed.
Yeah. He inclines his head with respect. Will that be all for today? Just about, you say, weariness enveloping you as the outside world grows closer to dawn. I'll be needed at Corliss's office tomorrow, and I may be gone for most of the night. I have a job for you in the meantime. Research the construction site that we were at. There was an explosion, gather information, find out if there have been recently sales. Okay, well, he's the finance guy. So I feel like the other two would have been good for the other skill sets that he could have had. But I think the finance guy should look into the finance, the sales of large quantities of explosives. But this is in the underground economy. Um, Problem solving. I'll do this one. I'm trying to play to my guy's skills. So gather information on what the police found. Of course, Master. What is his voice? Of course, Master. I'll get on it right away, and hopefully have something.
Had 3 accents.
Right, and hopefully have something. It's because the tone I'm not getting it right, and I just don't know how to get it right.
It's just like, what's his name? Gerard?
Yeah.
Gerard, why are you pitching alts to me?
And hopefully have something helpful by the time you're done with your sire tomorrow night. Gerard finally leaves you in peace, and you make your way to your bedchamber, eager to put the disastrous night behind you. It surprises you how easily you fell back into the pattern of violence from your fledgling days. You didn't really do much violence, though, my guy. You snuck in. Maybe this is like, because the other routes were like there was a back door and there was a front door.
This person had violence done to them, so
yeah. But now that you have time to reflect, your entire body shudders and you feel weak in the knees. Life in the upper crust of Ottawa's Camarilla society is really dull and is filled with very real dangers, but those are attacks of a political nature, and to fall in a battle of wits rarely leads to a violent and bloody end, though it's certainly known to happen. Tonight you faced final death on more than one occasion, and the resulting flood of memories from your mortal life brought back a heavy weight of long-repressed guilt. Fear of dying is a persistent instinct in both mortals and vampires alike. Even in decades after your first death, you're surprised to still feel the faux spike of adrenaline and the gnawing fear of the grave. Agelessness, as you'd quickly learn upon your embrace, can be stripped violently away, much the same as it's granted. Left to their own devices, a vampire's unlife could extend indefinitely, but the undead eventually desire purpose. True to the spirit of your damned nature, this desire manifests in the form of deadly politics, activism, or violence. For years now, the latter of these has been the furthest thing from your thoughts, but thanks to Corliss's prompting and Robert Ward's strangely personal attack, you're once again reminded that you are an inherently violent creature, and the thought both repulses and intrigues you, though not in equal measures. Barbaric attacks are beneath me. I prefer intelligent negotiation. I like violence. Brain dead, don't think. Means to an end. Okay, well, I'm more intelligent negotiations. I just hate how it's phrased, but this guy is kind of an asshole.
What the fuck are you doing?
Kitty cat?
Yeah. He just foxhole jumped himself into a pile of my plushies and he got himself stuck.
Oh, no.
Dummy.
Barbaric attacks are the desperate means of creatures beneath me. I prefer to deal in intelligent negotiation to get what I want. You approach your bedchamber with relief, all other details flying from your burdened mind as you focus on renewing your strength by sleeping the day away. I sleep on a plush mattress in a lavish bedroom, the bed itself hemmed in by luxurious blackout curtains. I sleep in a tasteful coffin. Listen, I sleep in a bed, guys. I just sleep in a bed.
On a mattress. The mattress may be in a coffin, but nonetheless.
Well, there's the coffin, but then there's the regular bed, and then there's, I don't know. I really like the bed hemmed by blackout curtains, but also it feels out of character for a vampire to have curtains around the bed because those are a fire hazard, and that's why we stopped having them generally.
I mean, they did just say that the vampires have a resistance to fire.
No, before it was a fear of fire, and the persons who got burned is going to take longer to heal than anything else.
Didn't How did I completely mishear that?
I
How
don't
did I
know.
hear exactly the opposite of it?
I don't know, but yeah, like the character instinctively ran away from the fire and had to force themselves to go back to the fire.
I see.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fire is how, like, that's why the gasoline was brought along to like kill Ward for good by setting him on fire. Um, like, this goes with asshole, but I'm just gonna do a bed. I'm just gonna do a regular bed. Listen, it's just a bed, guys. Both your
You
sire
sleep in a fucking bed like a normal ass person.
Both your sire and Gerard had been perplexed by your insistence on humble furnishings, but they eventually ceased insisting that you decorate according to your elevated station. You lay back with a deep sigh, gazing up at the luxuriously painted ceiling. It had been commissioned by the suite's former mortal occupant, and though he has long since passed on, you couldn't bear to have it altered. Abstract shapes cavort in an elegant dance of color in a modern masterpiece that you could stare at for hours if you felt so inclined. An image floats before you of the mortal you attacked tonight in a rage of hunger. In your blood-starved mind, you'd been certain that they were someone from your past, before the embrace. A lover, perhaps, although you can no longer recall the particulars. Is this because I didn't want to put in the variable again? What you can remember is the intense feeling of wrongness you'd felt, like there was a secret locked within your mind, nagging from behind a wall of repressed memory. You close your eyes and images flood back in quick flashes before solidifying into a scene you'd visited often, but never remembered in your waking hours. A lost memory, stolen from your cold and long dead mind, but it's resurfacing more frequently now, as if something has shaken it loose to rattle around in your head like a specter. You had been chosen by your sire because your mortal abilities fit with her ideals for the Torador clan. The dead have no need for mortal memories, but without some anchor to your past, will your humanity be gone forever? The vision is as vivid as it always is, and for fleeting seconds, you're confused as to why you're so surprised. You've always been here. This is who you are. In life, before you were chosen by Corliss to join Clan Torador, you were choice professional influence your starting stats. My starting stats!
I
I
Uh,
think I'm starting to notice why I never really had much of an interest in Vampire the Masquerade. Oh, I'm no longer a human.
that's
I'm
vampire
a
stuff.
monster.
Yeah.
Like fucking.
That's just modern vampire stuff.
I know.
Like, that's just
So
Anne
this is
Rice and
probably why
beyond.
I'm not interested in vampire shit.
That's fair.
I'm a monster, a creature of hatred.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
Fucking.
like, so far, he hasn't, or the main character hasn't been, like, angsty about it. It's been very matter of fact. It's like, I don't know, I'm a
Yeah.
monster now. I do violent stuff and drink blood.
I I don't know. Yeah, this is not for me, clearly.
Yeah. Influential journalist, strength, wits, and resolve, master of propaganda, manipulation, charisma, intelligence, artist possessing
I
unrivaled
love that
skill.
Metallica song.
Master of propaganda?
Yeah, it's a Master of Puppets joke.
Oh, okay. It took me a second. Um, I like
Boy, I'm really
charisma, but
batting
I don't want
100
to
on
be a
jokes.
propagandist. But I like charisma. Let me look at the stats. This isn't okay. Here's where does it stabilities? Stamina, charisma, how much do they like you? I like that. Manipulation, that's fine. Composure, that's good. Wits. I just like all the social stuff. Have you considered I like all the social stuff?
Have you considered? Have you thought about it?
Charter only likes me 55%. Oh, I have to go back up here to return to the game. Strength, wits, resolve. Manipulation, charisma, intelligence, dexterity, composure, stamina. Let's be an artist. I just don't want to be. If this wasn't making me someone who did propaganda, I would choose this one. I like wits. Let me double check what wits and resolve are. I'm being so into this as someone who is probably not going to play it once I stop. Like, I'm probably not going to play this again. Wits, think quickly. Okay, do you like think quickly? Resolve.
Oh my god, that's what this is reminding me of.
What?
There's a fucking joke song that went viral on TikTok about a fucking how do I describe it without giving away the punchline immediately?
I have no idea.
There's a song about a guy who meets a woman online, and he's extremely reluctant to meet her because, as the chorus states, I'm a creature of the night. How could she ever love me right when I am only half a man? She's coming over here tonight. To tell the truth, I'm terrified. There's nowhere left to hide the fact that I'm a half horse, half man.
That's fucking good.
And so that's why I'm not into this, is because it's reminding me of just like that fucking song. Like,
yeah.
I'm a true monster. I'm a creature of the night.
Yes, I mean, again, Anne Rice like started this basically, and it has been like run into the ground, and there have been like memes about it and everything.
See, and like I don't mind that trope of, oh, I feel regrets because now I'm a monster. Like, I don't mind that. Sometimes it's just you gotta play it very well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like, oh yeah, you're a monster.
Like,
meh.
Fear me.
Listen, I just have to say that kindness is all about what makes someone a monster or a human, and that's the theme of that game that I'm writing.
Oh boy, I love Epic the musical.
Oh, Epic.
I have not watched that.
That's a major theme of that, is like what makes a man a monster.
Yeah.
I have been emotionally devastated since listening to the final album.
Absolutely.
I will never recover.
But yes, so I may be into this sort of thing a little bit more because it is an area that I like to explore.
Fair.
But yeah, okay. You remember now. You remember everything. Your life, your death, your embrace. No, that's not right at all. The scent of blood, oblivion flooding over your senses like a cool wave, and an entirely unfamiliar set of eyes staring back as the gift of undeath takes you. Dead eyes glazing over as they watch you rise. The disturbing image of your past is replaced by a more comforting one, your sire hovering over you as she brought you back from the brink. You remember the smile on her blood-smeared face, light from above casting a radiant halo around her head. In that singular moment, she was the most beautiful thing you had ever seen, and you knew with unerring certainty that each night of your continued agelessness was a gift she had seen fit to bestow upon you. That should have been called the prologue, I think. Not to be nitpicky.
Probably.
Is saving a thing? Does this automatically save? Again, I don't think I'm actually going to play this again, which is no shade against this. It's just I have a lot of things to do.
Fair.
And yeah, but I have been playing for an hour and a half. I'm sorry you guys came in so late. But I think
Rip.
this is a good amount of game to play. I finished the first chapter. It was interesting. You know, I like the whole. Again, it's pretty tropey of like, you're the main character, but you're obviously doing bad things that the player knows seem to be pretty bad based on how we understand things to work. The things that are being said seem bad. And the guy we're trying to kill seems good, and he seems to be compassionate towards you specifically. So maybe there's something there. And he says that you're being lied to. What up?
Oh.
No way. My Cyrus is lying to me. Wild.
Oh way.
Which again, I'm not meaning to be mean about it. Like, it's good shit.
I am. Fuck this game.
Nice.
What?
Nice. But yeah, good stuff. I still have the wheel to be spinning for next week. Yeah. So we'll see what I play. Well, not next week, week after that. I'm only doing these every other week because I'm also doing my Saturday streams on Twitch every other week. And I'm still doing my stream tomorrow. I'm doing so much. So.
It's so busy.
It's not busy, and that's why I'm not doing these every week, which means this year I'm only going to get through 26, 20, like 23 games or something. Assuming that I'm able to keep to everything. My 23 games out of like 400 on my backlog. More than that, because I bought some itch bundles too that aren't included in the Steam number, obviously. So, but yeah, thank you guys for coming on and hanging out.
Woo.
Yeah.
And I'll do this again in 2 weeks.